Greetings, Mega Man fans, and welcome back to the Mega Man Rock Force LPA. There's only one Fusion Master left in this set, so without further ado, let's take on Flair Man, the fusion of Photon Man and Charade Man. How a flare-throwing sumo wrestler results from a solar energy wielding robot and a mimic, well, that makes a little bit more sense than most people give it credit for. Anyway, the stage music here is Flermin Stage 44, a public domain song that is very fast-paced and rather energetic, which makes it a very good choice for this level. I feel it actually fits a great deal, as the level itself also has a fair bit of mobility theming to it. For now, it's Blast Monkeys and Circuits that provide the main threat, giving this kind of a slightly Fuse-Man-esque feel. Only slightly, though, because Fuse-Man never had killer scissors trying to kill us. And, unlike with Plague Man and Virus Man, it doesn't take long before it throws brand new gimmicks at us. These fire vents, when you pass over them, will ignite, and they seem to have a bit of a cooldown to them. Notably, I applaud the introduction here, as I'm sure you've noticed, I have absolutely no reason to get lit on fire here besides stupidity. So, and after this, I could be kind of expected to know where the flames are going to pop up. We also get to see Screw Bombers in their original blue coloration, as opposed to the modified red that they were given in Flermin Stage. I love doing that, just having that big line of fire behind me. Looks kinda cool. Notably, in hard mode, you actually have to fight enemies on these fire vents. Yeah, it's about as crazy as it sounds, but I enjoy it. Believe it or not. Wait, where did the pedal go? I'm sure it shot a pedal into the air. Where'd it go? Never mind. And now we have Natordets. But they aren't the main attraction here. Now, we get Fiendworks again. And this time, they have no countdown timer going in the background. Excuse me. The Fiendworks fly up at set intervals, making them a very different beast from the pit rods, as they're just a constant threat. It's also not worth it to destroy them, given how quickly they respawn. Like, seriously, you're better off just timing your jumps over the things. Not a bad thing. They worked fairly well in the countdown timer room, and now they work well again here. Certainly, I've got no reason to complain. And it's nice to actually see them again. They didn't really get much use in Flermin Stage. So it's nice to see them getting another shot at, well, killing us in here. And this isn't the last we see of them either. They crop up again later on in the stage. What won't crop up later on in the stage is Bomb Man clearing a path for us with that big, huge bomb. We can actually use the Phantom Fuse to beat him to the punch, but I can't do that. He looks so upset afterwards. I can't. Legitimately can't. For a time I thought he was crying before I realized he was just sighing dejectedly. He looks so depressed. I can't do that to these people. They're my friends. And that up there is a Volcanoid. It's an invincible volcano that spits vertically falling tackle fires at you. Why do I specify that? Because in hard mode, tackle fires are a fixture in this stage. And there, they pop out of pits and behave like they did in Mega Man 1. Volcanoids, like most everything else in this game, and that end up cropping up as stage fixtures, ow, tend to come in threes, and they actually do have a nice difficulty curve. with the second and third ones demanding that you not get hit in the face by it when it's first firing. And then this last one being over spikes and with a deadlier enemy to take care of. Because, you know, freaking love me nots. Anyway, I don't want to keep standing there. Yeah, those pillars, when you land on them, their foundation explodes and they begin to sink into the ground. And if you stay with them, you're going to die, mate. And right here, we have an invincible minor minion. This is Fury, spelled F-I-R-E-E. Why it's called that, I'm not entirely sure. The point is, it's an invincible donut wheel that rides around on those platforms and is just generally a bit of a nuisance. And that was kind of close back there. If we go up there, we can get ourselves an E-tank. I'm in no desperate need for an E-tank, so I'm going to ignore it. I am, however, going to make a serious effort to dodge that screw bomber, because getting hit by that can be very bad, since those platforms aren't going to stay there for you. Ow. Should have known it was going to hit me. It was a good setup for the pedals to fall. And now we have count bombs in dangerous situations. Yeah, this is just like the Fiendworks. The count bombs now get their own little chance to shine. And I didn't know that was gonna happen. Didn't expect Love Me Not's head to just explode harmlessly on the ceiling. Oh well, learn something new every day. And now, count bombs and Fiendworks. A very nice combination, and it's interesting to see Fiendworks traveling in a different direction than simply going up. And, of course, it makes for a particularly challenging little section. The E-tank, I don't think is worth it, especially since I think I'm full. Of course, the one disappointing thing about that section, which I otherwise really like, is that it only comes in 2 instead of coming in 3 like most. I hope you remember the timing for the count bombs, though. Otherwise, that section's probably going to get you killed. I know it has in earlier runs of this game. And with that, that's the stage. Flermin Stage is another stage that relies primarily on mobility. You need to keep moving throughout a vast majority of the stage, with only a few moments being relegated to timing yourself instead. I appreciate that. I really like this stage. Keeps you moving, keeps the adrenaline going, works really well. Flows very, very nicely. It's kind of amusing that both it and Power Man have different flavors of a mobility theming, as Flair Man Stage and Power Man Stage were developed simultaneously. They kind of bled into each other a little there. Hee hee. Anyway, Flair Man himself. First of all, I do believe I have to explain his fusion, specifically the logic behind it. So, I imagine most of you remember what Photon Man's master weapon is, right? If you don't, I'll give you a quick reminder. It is the Photon Flare. And notice, it's called Photon Flare, and our boss coming up is Flair Man. Charade Man himself is not only an actor, he's a mimic, as we saw with his little charades game for his mid-boss fight. So, combine together a mimic with the robot master that wields the Photon Flare, and it's a small wonder that Flair Man is the result of the fusion, no? I have absolutely no explanation for why he's a sumo wrestler, though. But then again, I imagine the explanation would work about as well as explaining why Terror Man is spontaneously a spider, why Plague Man spontaneously has this fashionable scarf, why Power Man suddenly has no hands, despite both Shockman and Circuit Man having hands. The fusions don't make perfect sense, but there's something there. Anyway, enough explaining that. It's time for Flair Man himself. And he just wily browed. Oh, this can only end badly. This is probably one of the trickiest boss fights in the game right here. Simply because of Flair Man's Gutsman quakes of doom. Like, at first, they were ridiculously hard to time. And, as you can see, getting caught by them knocks you an incredible distance backwards. And of course, with his little quake stomp, it's pretty much impossible to not get caught by them. If he faces towards the screen with his arms pointed down, he's using the quad flare. If he faces towards the screen with his arms pointed up, he's going to use that explosive quake stomp. And of course, if he just raises his foot normally, he's launching that shockwave. And of course, anytime his foot hits the ground, he creates one of those stunning earthquakes, which also cancels your charge shot. Yeah, Flair Man is a force to be reckoned with, Buster only. He is probably one of the hardest bosses Rock Force has to offer. I'm amazed I took him out on my first try this round. Normally that doesn't happen. He used to be trickier. Those quakes used to be incredibly difficult to time the dodge for. But that seems to have been improved upon, and that makes him just incredibly challenging as opposed to outright infuriating. Which I appreciate. I prefer challenging to infuriating any and every day of the week. And with those four down, they combine together again to form this guy, Deathman. He is not our next opponent. Rather, the next foes that we're going to face is one of the Robot Masters from this set. Because obviously, can't forget about them. So, that's the episode. So, thank you all very much for watching. And in the next episode, I admit, after Flermin Stage, I'm still in a bit of a Daredevil mood. So for the next episode, we'll be facing yet another Daredevil boss. So until then, thank you very much for watching. I hope you enjoyed the episode, and I shall see you again for the next one. Until then, goodbye!